Black Ops 4 is objectively the worst Call of Duty game of the 8th generation, and so fittingly it ends my 8th generation retrospectives, live streams. It ends this mini-series that I used to come out of my funk. I was going through a bit of a burnout, and I really wanted to make simple content that had nothing to do with being relevant and everything to do with sharing my opinion, and so yeah, it's been fun revisiting these previous Call of Duty games. Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, COD World War II, and Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 is by far the nastiest game that came out this generation. It deserves the least amount of praise. It has the most puzzling fan base to me, and I will have basically nothing nice to say about it in this video. I don't even need to write a script about how much I dislike Black Ops 4. I wake up every day disliking Black Ops 4. I wake up well rested and refreshed. I roll over, I see my girlfriend. She's cute, she's so beautiful, life is perfect. Fuck, why did Rampart have high caliber 1 and 2? I can't heat up a chimichanga for dinner without thinking about Torque's microwave shield. This game gave me PTSD. These retrospectives are simple, slapped together, and just sort of fun for me to make. So let's talk about Black Ops fucking 4. Ironically, I'm recording this at 1 AM on November 12th. That means that tonight, this time in 24 hours, I'm gonna be playing Black Ops Cold War. And each like on this video will be a prayer that Treyarch does not redo the same mistakes that we saw in Black Ops 4. Now, previously in this series, I tore into Black Ops 3 pretty heavily. So a lot of you might think that I just dislike Treyarch. This is not true in the slightest. My three favorite, if I had to pick three of my favorite past generation CODs, the 7th generation, it'd be Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1 and 2, all tied for my favorite Call of Duties for various reasons. And I'd love to talk about them, but this is an 8th gen retrospective, not a 7th gen retrospective, so I'll talk about those in other videos. But during the 8th gen, Treyarch and Activision had a really toxic relationship with the fan base that I can't get behind. And the reason it continued is because the player base didn't seem to notice it or care. It's like these YouTubers that were tweeting things like, oh, in Treyarch we trust, and David Vonderhaar we trust. They were scared to turn on Treyarch. They were scared to turn on the Black Ops series. It's like there was so much emotion brought in and wrapped around the Treyarch Call of Duty games that nobody was willing to really look at it objectively, and if they did, they would always blame Activision. But I genuinely think that if it was just Activision, then every Call of Duty game this generation would be just as anti-consumer as Black Ops 3 and 4, just as shady as Black Ops 3 and 4, just as lackluster as Black Ops 3 and 4. But no. After Black Ops 3, I believe Black Ops 4 had to work uphill, and the reason I find Black Ops 4 worse, and the reason I felt bad digging into Black Ops 3 is because Black Ops 3, I feel like you could say, alright, it was Treyarch's first COD of the generation, they wanted to see what they could get away with, and while it was really scummy and inexcusable, they'll make up for it in the next game. Black Ops 4 actually has less severe microtransaction systems and bullshit in regards to how it treated the player base that way as a product, but it's worse because it's after what we saw during Black Ops 3. Meaning they learned nothing. They wanted you to have less and less value. The Black Ops Pass was overpriced and full of shit maps and remakes and things that were completely unnecessary. There was no reason for the Black Ops Pass to exist. There was not enough content to warrant the price tag of the Black Ops Pass. They went from having 200 tier battle passes to 100 tier battle passes to putting weapons in reserves. And this really broke my back when I was playing this game. Apparently, I'm a fanboy for disliking the Treyarch games from 8th gen. I'm an Infinity Ward fanboy. If Infinity Ward had been pulling this shit, then I would have been furious. But they weren't. They handled post-launch content better. They just did. They have all generation. So even when those games were frustrating me, when Ghosts had me at the end of my rope, when Infinite Warfare had me strangling neighborhood cats, when Modern Warfare had me about 3 inches from jumping out my window this last year, I at least felt respected as a player. Not listened to in regards to Modern Warfare 2019, but respected in the sense that they didn't want my gameplay experience, my product experience to be worse because I wasn't willing to throw money into it. And their respect paid off. Modern Warfare and Warzone have brought in so much money because it's following a new business practice. A business practice I want them to continue for years to come. But the fact that when you spent $60 on Black Ops 4, you didn't even get a story campaign, you better like Battle Royale because that's what you're getting instead. There was a zombies game mode that I didn't really ever play, but I have not heard good things about. I've heard that Black Ops 4 zombies are some of the worst zombies ever made, but multiplayer really started out on the wrong foot. You see, everyone likes to take Joe Saycott out of context when he said he wanted Modern Warfare to be built for noobs, when really what he was saying was that, well, he said the thing that every Call of Duty developer says. They want new and old players, returning players, to love the game. And that's basically what their mentality was with every Call of Duty since COD 4. Build a game for the sweaty tryhards and the noobs, the longtime fans and the noobs, and while that might seem scummy to some, it's just good business sense. The real challenge for them is that gaming as a thing, as a whole, has just changed so dramatically. The culture around it has changed so dramatically that I imagine they find it very difficult to figure out exactly how to tweak their game. But David Vonderhaar literally said that he was trying to create a game more like Overwatch, and the reason we didn't get that was because other people in the studio, and probably at Activision, told him no. And I don't think it's a coincidence that many of the Black Ops 4 multiplayer maps have these really massive spawn areas on either side, like really squared off massive spawn areas, almost to facilitate a payload escorting game mode. Also, it makes sense why they made it 5v5 instead of 6v6 for many of the multiplayer modes. They also have assists counting as kills instead of just a normal kill and death system. You have an EKIA system. You know, there are certain things like that that really paint a picture that he was going for something more Overwatchy, or the whole studio was for at least a minute there, and then they changed course, leaving the multiplayer feeling unbalanced, like some sort of strange afterthought during the height of the Battle Royale craze. So Blackout got a lot of attention, but that won't be talked about here. I'm tearing into this multiplayer. Every Call of Duty has stuff that's clearly created for the lower common denominator. You have things that are created for people that aren't very good at the game. Whether it's IED camping with a ghillie suit and an M27 IAR, maybe you're playing Advanced Warfare and you are using a noob tube with danger close. You're gonna be fun to play against. Small thing, I made Drifter rage quit a live stream a long time ago because I ran into him in a DLC playlist back when he played on Xbox, and I noob tubed him with the AMR-9 grenade launcher setup I had until he shut the stream down. Yeah, funny story. In Black Ops 3 you had, well, the entire specialist system. In Infinite Warfare you had, well, the entire rig system. In Modern Warfare Remastered you had the triple grenade, triple flash. It was COD 4. Fucking enough said. COD World War II has the easiest sniping this generation. COD World War II has very hard to see bouncing Bettys, fire shotguns. You know, if you've played it, you know. I have to admit that one doesn't have too many things that stand out to me as for noobs, because I don't feel like there's much that stands out to me at all in COD World War II. So, take that. Cheap shot. But Black Ops 4 has its entire game design. Simplistic maps, specialists that have abilities and weapons baked into them at no cost to the player. Weapons that completely subverted the longer time to kill for a more snappy traditional Call of Duty killing experience, which made the weapon balance, well, what weapon balance? You had the Auger DMR, you had the Titan LMG, you had the Rampart, you had high caliber 1 and 2 on multiple different weapons. It was not a pretty picture. There were just guns that didn't have a longer time to kill, that required more persistence and skill. They completely negated that. And if that wasn't bad enough, you had, I don't know, the K9 unit coming after you. You had a war machine in the other room. You had somebody that doesn't want to lose a gunfight because, for whatever reason, and just gravity spikes the room you're in, or knows that you're on a streak and just, I don't know, does something that immediately kills you. You had people camping staircases with barbed wire and torque shields all year. You had body armor for people that are 1 KD players. Like, literally, body armor is in the game for 1 KD players. It's a juggernaut that goes away after 1 gunfight. If you get shot, it breaks, it's gone, you don't get it back, but that's fine because you're a 1 KD player. So your 1 gunfight that you probably are going to win per game is more so guaranteed. It took multiple nerfs to get that body armor to where the community wasn't freaking out about it, but it was there for a reason. It was there for Timmy No Thumbs, and it was very obvious that it was there for Timmy No Thumbs, and this is why Black Ops 4 is not a popular Call of Duty game. It has a fan base, and there are people that just enjoy it because they enjoy it. There are people, though, that I do believe have dropped on the head syndrome because they try to tell me that the game actually takes a lot of skill and I don't understand it. Oh, okay. My girlfriend's cute in the morning, and Black Ops 4 takes some skill I don't understand. Captain Price was right. We're all a little crazy, aren't we? When people tell me about how good Black Ops 4 is in my live streams or my comment sections, I feel like I'm watching an episode of The Twilight Zone from the set of The Truman Show. There is nothing about it that makes sense to me. What is so appealing about a game where if you're close to a kill streak, you could easily get killed by a guard dog? Didn't everybody have enough of that during COD Ghosts? Thought we were done with the guard dog thing. Okay, I guess not. What about getting Seeker Drone? What about somebody camping in one hallway all game with various torque shields? You know that feeling in Call of Duty where your teammates just simply refuse to play the objective, but you finally find a moment where your team is trying to capture the B flag, and then you just get war machined off of it, and your teammates fuck off with that idea because why would I go where I'm a target for the specialist abilities? Yeah, justify that to me, please, for the love of God. Any answer other than, it's just dumb fun, I enjoy it, leave me alone, you COD nerd, I'm not going to accept. There's no justification for Black Ops 4 design decisions in my opinion. I'm sorry, there just isn't. I don't want to hear them. I don't have patience for them. I think they're dumb. I think we should have gotten a Call of Duty World at War remaster instead of this. Can you imagine that, guys? Remaster World at War Zombies, multiplayer and campaign. Wouldn't that have been really nice compared to whatever this fucking shit show is? They could even have filled it with microtransactions like Modern Warfare Remastered. Okay, fine. It would have been better than this. This is a game that I constantly felt cheated in, that then later, monetarily, made me feel cheated in. Activision knew that Treyarch had a really close connection with the COD community, and they did nothing but abuse it. How fucking sad is it? Now, some of you are gonna say that that's just capitalism, my friend, and I'm gonna respond to you by saying, yeah, that's why I stopped playing it. That's just capitalism, my friend. I'm not gonna pretend I don't put up with bad game mechanics in games that I like. There are elements of even my favorite childhood games, like Kingdom Hearts 2, that I don't fully appreciate. But to me, they're not worth bringing up because the rest of the product is so good. I don't think that's the case with Black Ops 4. And if you want to say Blackout is the saving grace of Black Ops 4, show me on the doll where another $60 battle royale touched you. Then you have things like the strobe light on one of the shotguns turns off your opponent's aim assist once it's aimed at them, and they never nerfed that properly. I think maybe they did by now, but during its life cycle when I was playing, it never got properly nerfed, even though people, when they realized it, wouldn't stop abusing it. Weapons, of course, got added to reserves, which is no small thing, and there's also no campaign, so there's no direct actual theme to the game. And now I'm going to quote Jason, Gamer Central, Rice Boy, my friend that joins me on the live streams. You guys know him. He made a really good point then, and it stands to be a really good point now. If Black Ops 4 is a prequel to Black Ops 3, why didn't they use that opportunity to give us specialists that are more balanced by having them just have worse specialist weapons? Why were the specialist weapons better, in a lot of cases, than the Black Ops 3 counterparts? It's a really good argument. Specialists could have been a little bit weaker and less prevalent, but they decided to make them more strong because then it's more gimmicky and it feels more new, more better. Games do this all the time, but in this case it was inexcusable because it was one of the big reasons that I hated the game. When the Tempest and Purifier were in the game at launch, the Purifier required players to hold the fire on somebody until they died. And the Tempest was more like a clunky sniper rifle that had some fun electricity arcing effects. Then they buffed it, to the point that the Tempest is just a semi-automatic rifle with a slow fire rate, and they buffed Purifier, so all the flame has to do is touch you for you to die, just like it was in Black Ops 3. I mean, both of those characters have really good gadgets too, that you get for free without taking anything away from your creator class, such as the Seeker Drone, which just holds somebody in place and says, hey, shoot me, and then the Reactor Core, which in certain buildings, if you activate it while a player is in a certain part of a building, even on like Nuketown, if the player is in a specific position where they're not close enough to an exit, a Reactor Core going off in the room, in that building, will just straight up kill them. And then of course they couldn't just have that happen. He takes less damage while activating his Fire Core. What was the logic there? The only thing I think Black Ops 4 did well is limit the number of specials that could be on the field. So you can't have a whole team of fire breaks or batteries or ruins or prophets, so it's fine, it makes it balanced, right? I do not think so, because there was always something to screw you up. In every match there was something to just be a bee in your goddamn bonnet. And that's inexcusable for me, because Call of Duty is frustrating enough. When Call of Duty is in its bare form, and you're playing hardcore mode in COD 4, there's not much genuine bullshit there. Playing hardcore mode, you're just one-tapping everybody, it should be fine. there are still elements of frustration and irritation. Even when a Call of Duty game, an FPS game in general, Halo, Battlefield, whatever it is, when it's simplistic, it can still be frustrating. Black Ops 4 took every element of an FPS game and multiplied its frustration by a random number depending on the thing. So, weapon balance, never perfect, but really not perfect here. Ability play in FPS games, never perfect, but really not perfect here. So I do laugh when people say that the doors in Modern Warfare are inherently broken, or the IEDs ruin Call of Duty Ghosts, or that Infinite Warfare was pay to win. I laugh at these things because if you really want easy to point out elements, and those other elements are worth pointing out to a degree, if you really want to get angry about something, if you really want to point to something in reference to what Call of Duty does wrong, Black Ops 4 is the crowning achiever of these things. An expensive, shitty season pass, no campaign, emphasis on Battle Royale when every other Battle Royale on the market was much cheaper or free, weapons and reserves, tons of microtransactions. You had to pay $1 to get a single reticle. The fuck was that? And then game design after game design that seems to be focused around the one KD player that has no thumbs. And then when you go into bare bones mode, it doesn't get that much better because snipers were inherently out of whack with the longer time to kill. It's like you, as an assault rifle, SMG, LMG user, had to deal with a longer time to kill, whereas a sniper in Black Ops 4 would just quickscope you till the cows came home and you couldn't do shit about it. And that bothers me. The whole game bothers me. I don't like it. I don't like that I spent money on it, and it's the only Call of Duty that I have uninstalled during its life cycle. The only one. I stopped playing COD World War II, but I didn't uninstall it. I occasionally came back and played War Mode or some random bullshit with friends, but it accentuates every issue I have in FPS games. Then it has every 8th gen COD issue massively accentuated. The whole idea that more is better, tons of content, again, whole arsenals in Call of Duty games worth of weapons I don't have unlocked, paid DLCs, and just lackluster everything else. Now, the base of Black Ops 4 is not inherently bad. I don't actually hate it. In fact, I don't hate its gunplay despite not being very good at it. I don't really hate the act of running around, sliding, jumping, shooting people. It actually doesn't feel too bad as an FPS game. If you took its base FPS mechanics, its maps, the ability to run, shoot, jump, all of those base mechanics, then you had a solid 5, 6 out of 10 game there. It's when you pile everything else on top of it, it as a product, the specialist abilities, the weird gadgets and equipment like body armor, even stem shot. I could make a whole video about why stem shot was a problem in that game, and it was just because that it wasn't the default healing method, so it really screwed up that as well. Anyway, when you add all that on, it's like a 2 out of 10, maybe a 1, maybe a 1.5. Black Ops 4 should have been the first free-to-play COD, not COD Mobile. That's the end statement of this video, and that's my last statement about this game in the 8th gen. My favorite 8th gen Call of Duty game is Call of Duty Ghosts. Even though when I loaded it back up I was disillusioned and I had to be reminded about how fucking boring and dull and ugly Ghosts is, it at least feels like a solid product. It doesn't overcharge, it doesn't overstay its welcome, you don't have to grind ridiculous amounts to get everything. I think it's a good product overall. I believe every Call of Duty game I've mentioned here has merit, is worth some amount of money, except for Black Ops 4. I love the COD franchise, and while this generation was weird and maybe not what we remember from being kids, I started this generation as a kid, and I appreciate these Call of Duty games for various reasons. Now, you could argue that maybe the reason I don't like Call of Duty World War II and Black Ops 4 is because by the time we got to those games during this generation, I was burnt out on COD. And there's probably merit to that assessment, but I've had a lot of distance from those games. And sometimes I get itches to go back and play them, but I'm always irritated when I do. I don't think it's burnout, I think it's a lack of quality. Thank you guys for watching my 8th gen retrospectives. We will be revisiting Modern Warfare in about a week, just to give you guys a break from Cold War content. I'm going to go back, look at some Modern Warfare gameplay I still have on my hard drive, clean it up, talk about some misconceptions in this very simple format, and that'll be fun to talk about. So, thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.